Now I'm very pleased to introduce today's speaker. John Blackman is the CTO and CAIO at ELB Learning. We are looking forward to learning more about how to leverage AI in e-learning. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to John to take it away for us today.
Thank you very much. And I'll begin by sharing my screen. Let me go ahead and do that. There we go. And very important, make sure that I share my sound as well. So I'll set that up and share sound, and I'm sharing sound. All right. Again, my name is John Blackman. I'm the CTO and CIO of ELB Learning. And today we're going to be talking about how you can use AI in your job today. The first, we really should start out by defining what is AI. I mean, it's a term that we hear all of the time. You can't turn on the news or watch a movie these days without seeing something about AI. It's pretty much everywhere. And if you actually look at it in the movies, it always seems to depict something like Ex Machina or iRobot, which is really kind of a bad thing because AI killed a lot of people, including the people that invented it. So really bad. I don't really think that's what AI is. So what is the definition of AI? So AI is the field of computer science dedicated to creating software or machines that can perform tasks that typically require human intelligence. So as you can imagine, that's a pretty broad spectrum of things that is AI, right? So a lot of things fit it, right? Visual perception, so recognizing objects in pictures or video, speech recognition, normally something we attribute to humans, uh, decision making, language translation, and what is all the new and the new cool is generating new and unique content. That's the AI we're hearing about a lot these days. That's generative AI. Okay, so AI is a very broad field. How does it help us with e-learning? What can it do? What can we do with it? Well, we can do things like summarizing text. That definitely takes us some time. If we have to get in a lot of text from a SME and we have to summarize it, it can really help us with that. Generating new writing pieces. So if you have to start from a blank sheet, you can actually have it help you generate and start new writing pieces, and get you along the way. Appropriate writing style. So you always want to make sure that you are writing to the correct level of learner. So if you're supposed to be writing for a high school audience or a college audience or an adult learning audience, right? Very different ways of writing the same information. AI can help you with that. Generating questions from content and also generating distractors from content is a great thing for AI. I was reading an article the other day about how much time is actually spent generating distractors, the wrong answers to questions. We spend too much time doing that. AI can really help us with that by generating distractors that are quality distractors, right? Creating photos from text, finding that right photo that goes with your information. That can be, a lot of searching, and is there copyright information, things like that. You can have AI generate photos for you. Editing scripts, creating scripts, something that's very time consuming. Again, very easy there. And creating voiceovers, another great thing that AI can do for you. We're going to look at that for sure. So let's start by looking at AI that you can use today. What are some things that are available to you that you can actually use right now that are out there? Well, kind of the big three generalized AI engines out there are ChatGPT, which I guarantee you have heard about, or you've at least heard that name. Bard, which is Google's entry into AI. Bard has been around for a while. It's actually longer than OpenAI. Google was actually working on it for a long time and didn't want to release it. And then once OpenAI came out, they had absolutely no choice in the matter. They had to release it. So Bard is out there, and also Claude from a company called Anthropic is new and up and coming. And you'll see a lot of that too. So what I want to do, I'm going to start by taking the same piece of text. I'm going to have all three of these AIs generate something for me, and we'll take a look at what it generates when it puts it in there. So we're going to start with ChatGPT. So here we're using ChatGPT. This is the interface for ChatGPT. It's at chat.openai.com. And we will just be asking it for a brief history of the Eiffel Tower. So it's going to go through, think for about a second, and then start giving me that history. So gives you this history, goes through a little timeline here. So when the construction began, and it's going through and it's rolling through all this as we go, right? So it gets when it opened, what its initial intention was. We can really find out about it. So what if we take that exact same quote and let's ask Bard the same exact thing? still generating here, but we'll come back and look at how it's done. Oh, there it goes. So kind of gives you a little few paragraphs of information about it. We're going to give it the exact same prompt to Bard and see how Bard does with it. So Bard gave me pictures along with, so very different. So this is something that's been new with Bard. I saw this the other day. It'll actually give you images now along with your text. So you get a timeline. It gives you basically almost a bullet point kind of thing by the year, as well as pictures as it was going along. So really very different, very interesting content, but maybe depends on what you're looking for. Maybe that is or is not what you're looking for. And let's do the same with Claude. It's at claude.ai. And again, that is from Anthropic. And Claude is going to give me some construction information, height, a few details, a little bit shorter. So very interesting. But you see, they all give similar information, but perhaps a bit more. You got some images along with this. They actually gave you where the images came from. So you actually have links to where those images came from. You see, I click on that link. Yeah, I click on the link. It'll actually take me to it so you can properly give credit to that. So that's very nice. I like the way they give you links. This one credited to Twitter. I'm not sure if that's quite correct, but so sure, they handle it pretty well, and they're all a little bit different. So I recommend using any of them at any time. But there's more than just generating text, right? You can also generate images. So there are a lot of things out there for that as well. So DALL-E is from OpenAI. OpenAI is the Chat GPT company. So if we take a look at generating images in AI, we'll start with DALL-E, and this is where we're going to be getting into a bit of the interaction. We're going to generate an image, but I'm going to ask you what you would like to see an image of. So let's generate an image, and if you want to see something, can you put something into the chat that you'd like to see an image of? A sushi monster. That's okay. That would be pretty interesting. It's the only one we got. Okay. What office environment? A Martian firefighter in gear. That's actually probably a little bit closer to actually, you know what? That actually is probably something we would need sometimes. And so what if we needed a picture of a firefighter in gear? So let's see what DALL-E does with that. It also could be a frog dressed in a red shirt waving a flag. So let's see what DALL-E does with it. And there we go, fighter in gear. And it looks pretty good. Now, there are lots of these out here. This is just one of them. There's another one. This is Bing. Now, Bing actually uses ChatGPT under the covers to do its work, but it is a little bit different version. So I'm interested to see how it does with the exact same prompt, the firefighter in gear. I kind of also want to see a frog dressed in a red shirt waving a flag. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Might have to ask it that as well. So multiple options for generating images. Again, these are free. I'm not paying for any of these services. These are things that you can go on and use today. This gave me drawings. It's very interesting that it gave me drawings. I wonder if I ask it for a photorealistic. And let's see what it does about that. Because DALL-E did give me ones that they look like pictures I could actually use in my content. All right. Well, it's not really truly fit. Still looks appealing, but it did a pretty decent job with it, though. So, I mean, these are things that you could imagine using in your content. If you had to do a content on fire, you wouldn't have to go searching. You could just ask AI to generate an image for you and put it in. No copyright issues when you're having these drawn things, as long as you don't call out a certain artist's style or things like that. Very simple to use. The other one that I wanted to point out really quickly is something that's fairly new, which is clipdrop.co. So this is an image generator that just came out recently, and it is using what they call a turbo model, and it's at clipdrop.co. And so on this one, as you type, it shows you an image. It generates images as you type, so there's no waiting. So I'm going back to the frog dressed in the red shirt waving a flag because, I kind of like it. Uh, and we're going to see what it does. So as I type, I say a frog. And as you see, the image is generated as I'm typing. And if I change anything, I just went past that. Dressed in a red shirt, waving flag. Dressed in a red shirt, waving flag. Dressed in a red shirt. And as you can see, it is changing this as I go. That is astounding to me, the speed at which it can generate those images, right? So you can imagine that, and you'd be able to download that image and put it in, right? Just astounding. And you can change anything in here. And if I just wanted to say waving a, checkered flag, right? So boom, right? So it's just so quick it can generate, and this is changing all the time. I mean, last time I spoke about this, I didn't have this to show. This is just how quickly things are changing in the industry. It's just amazing when you see what you can do with AI. All right, so let's go back here. Portrait generation. So I don't know if you saw when my video is off, this was the headshot that I was using, and it's kind of a unique headshot, kind of a drawn stylistic headshot. It's kind of fun to use something like that, but we're not all going to hire an artist. How would you create a stylistic headshot like this that actually looks like your image? Well, there are many, many solutions out there. One of those is it's called Vana. So it's at portrait.vana.com. And so in here, if I actually go into here first, you actually upload, it's a free service again. I did not pay to use this. I uploaded 8 pictures of myself, different angles. So I had different headshots, different sides, things like that. Upload those 8 pictures, and then you choose a style. So you have a lot of different styles. So you can go through from artistic styles to, film and TV to professional styles to, all of these crazy styles that you can put in. And it applies those styles and creates a portrait based on that style and those creations. And so that's where I got mine. I chose a pulp manga style, and that's where I got this one. And we have several other versions of it. I choose retro poster. I didn't really like that one too much. I thought it looked weird. I thought this one was even worse, truthfully. I went for a studio creation, a painting. But the one thing I did discover while using this, and I will give you a little word of warning if you want to go out and play with this, is that if you are male and you choose one of these styles that happens to show a female in the style, or if you are female and you choose one of these styles that happens to have a male in that style, it will render you as the other gender, which may or may not be fine, but you might find out that you actually look better as the other gender, and that's not really a good thing. I tried to choose a painting. I wanted to see a painting. Didn't realize that it was going to paint me as a woman. And even more so, did not realize that I would look better as a woman. Very disheartening. Anyway, so just a little word of warning for you there. All right, let's get back to it. Two more things we're going to look at. The first one is going to be AI voice generation. So a lot of times when we think about voice generation, we think back to the older models of voice generation, which were very computer sounding and not very lifelike, and it was very obvious. And we would use them somehow if we were working with a demo of something. But when we actually got done to production, we would have to hire some voice talent to bring them in. You don't really need to do that anymore. This one is called. There are literally thousands of these out here. I've chosen 11 labs. They actually have a very nice one. This is a paid service. I am not using the paid service right now. It has a trial available, but you have a lot of voices that you can choose, voices, languages. One of those is Santa Claus. That's a pretty neat one, but we'll stick with this default, which is Charlotte right here. And if I can generate this text, it can be any text we want, and we can hear what we come up with. And it will then.
There are many AI text-to-speech options available today. This is just one example that has a free trial.
Just amazing how lifelike that is and expressive it is. And you can really get on some different ones. So they tell you, Gigi, so it's child. This is a child. I haven't tried this before. We're gonna try this live, see how Gigi sounds.
There are many AI text-to-speech options available today. This is just one example that has a free trial.
So you can see the intonation, the way it reads it, it really comes out as if you paid a professional to do it. And you get many, many choices. It's very inexpensive, actually, once you get to it. So a lot of this is available out there. Definitely, if you do a lot of voiceovers, I really recommend looking at some of these AI voiceovers things. Okay, let's continue on. All right, lastly, we're going to look at generating content in Google Docs. So the final piece there, and this is in beta right now in Google Docs, and it basically incorporates Bard, Google's version of it, into document creating. As you can see, when you get to a blank document, it gives you now some prompts. You can say, help me write. Okay, and so anything you type in there, and I'm going to ask again, what would you guys like to write about? It's going to write a document about it. So go ahead and put in the chat if you want to see Google Docs create a document on its own, whatever it might be. Any thoughts, ideas? What do you want to see? Okay. The most common New Year's resolution, performance improvement plan, SOP. Okay, well, let's throw that in there because that looks like something we may have to do. Standard operating procedures for performance improvement plan. First of all, let's see if it understands SOP. How about that? That sounds important. And so Bard will take a minute, it will create that and throw it in there and fill out your document. And there you go. And gives you that standard operating procedure. You can then go in and any section that's in here, if I say, okay, I like it, I can insert it. It's now in my document. I can insert things. I can change things. I can summarize, rephrase, do lots of different things in there. I didn't sign up. I'm a kind of a power user. And so it just, they put it in. I think it'll be coming to everyone soon. I've had it for probably 6 months. So I'm assuming it's going to be coming to everyone soon. All right. So let's move on. So biggest thing about AI is prompt generation. So the ability to now talk to AI is now one of the most in-need skills out there, right? AI can do a lot for you, but only if you can talk to it properly. And so there's a few rules of the road to go in there. The first is to understand your audience, right? Make sure you know, this is what we talked about before, make sure who you're writing it for. Keep it simple. You don't want to put too much extraneous information. You could actually confuse the AI, but also be specific, which sounds like it's, different than keeping it simple, but just put in there specifically what you want and nothing else. The other one is to iterate and experiment. Like I said, we have 3 different choices that are free, and there's more than 3. I just put 3 out there. There are many choices of AIs available. Maybe you want to try with a few of them, see if there's one that better fits your style. Iterate a few times. Like when you get it, if it doesn't give you the right answer, tell it didn't give you the right answer and see what it comes back with. So, and then lastly is ask AI for the best prompt. So if you have been iterating, if you have been experimenting with these AIs and experimenting with the prompt and it tells you what you want, ask AI what the best prompt would have been to get that in the first place. And it will tell you. So AI can help you out getting prompting. So let's look at some effective prompt generation. So we're going to just quickly look at, if I am going to set up an email with my coworker, if I just say, how do I write an email to set up a meeting with a coworker, I'm probably not going to get that great of an information from it, right? So that's really not a very good prompt, not detailed enough. So an example of a good prompt would be something like, I need to set up a meeting with my coworker, Jane, to discuss the upcoming project. She's usually available on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 to 2. What's the best way to write an email to request a meeting? And that's going to give me that information. But even better, if I wanted to go all the way, and you can get this detailed, right? So request a meeting with coworker Jane, discuss the project. The project due date is there. What you're going to meet about. You're going to brainstorm ideas and make sure you're on the same page. When she's available, all of this will come into it. Be detailed in your prompts. Okay, so let's look at prompting an AI, an actual example. So this was done by an instructional designer at a fitness studio company, and they were tasked with coming up with a way to promote their lead management system, Greenbook, to their franchisees. They had promotional materials. They were all PDFs. They really weren't that exciting. They were kind of dry. They really weren't catching the view of the intended audience. And so this instructional designer was given this task with absolutely no indication of what to do, and of course got blank page syndrome. So if some of you are wondering why I have a photo of a man on a horse holding up a bottle of Old Spice, that means you may not have seen this commercial before. Those who have actually seen this commercial will know about this commercial. This is a quirky commercial that was put out by Old Spice some years back that became viral and really hit the internet. And there were memes and tons of stuff. And it's really pretty well known throughout the. And so the ID really liked this commercial, really thought it was funny, and thought, if I want to create something catchy that people will want to watch, I somehow want to tie in my lead management system to this commercial. So what does that, in case you haven't seen the commercial, here you go.
Hello, ladies. Look at your man. Now back to me. Now back at your man. Now back to me. Sadly, he isn't me. But if he stopped using lady-scented body wash and switched to Old Spice, he could smell like he's me. Look down. Back up. Where are you? You're on a boat with the man your man could smell like. What's in your hand? Back at me. I have it. It's an oyster with 2 tickets to that thing you love. Look again. The tickets are now diamonds. Anything is possible when your man smells like Old Spice and not a lady. I'm on a horse.
All right, just absolutely weird and quirky. But the ID, I think she had been looking at it. They said, hey, we're going to see if we can spice up our promotion. She actually went in and prompted AI and asked it to rewrite this script for lead management system Greenbook, being the Greenbook is the name of the AI, the system, being the best for getting leads. And then literally just took the text from that and put it into into the AI, and that's the prompt. So just amazing. And so then it was actually, so I have the text, we can put it in and run that now. So I'm going to go ahead and put that into the AI quickly. All right, and so we'll go for ChatGPT, and we'll see what ChatGPT. And again, ChatGPT comes back and it actually gives me the text to use for it in that tongue-in-cheek way. And so it was actually done. It was done using ChatGPT. They put it out, and they actually put it along with a small video alongside, but used the quote from here. And I think they had to go through and tweak it just slightly. But it's amazing how well it can take it and tie it in. And think how much time that would save you from doing. Now you still need the inspiration to come up with something, something funny, something quirky that people really pay attention to. But it gives you that possibility of using it. All right, so they sent out the animation. This is actually the image they sent along with it, and that is the actual text that they sent out for it. All right, so without further ado, because we're running low on time, let's get into some AI in the studio. The first thing I'm going to show you is generating scenes in ScenarioVR. So Studio is a product, is our set of products within ELB Learning. Many of these products have AI built into them. One of those is ScenarioVR. So in ScenarioVR, it is a VR authoring tool. One of the things we found that people had most trouble with was coming up with those initial 360 images, right? So these are full 360 images that are going around your scene. And so we put in what we call the AI wizard. So the AI wizard allows you to generate a scene of any type, and that'll be your full 360 scene, which you'll be able to walk through in VR. We get a lot of categories, many different things, but we'll go ahead and stick with realistic. And again, I am back to the chat to see what do you guys want to see generated for us in a full 360. What would you like to see generated? All right. Don't make me do it. An office that allows dogs. No one has ever asked that before. All right, let's go. A worker on a Zoom call. I see workers on Zoom calls way too much. I don't want to see any more of those. All right. Rocket ship command. Copyright issues with using popular ads. There may be, but I got to think that Old Spice would love you to use their ad. I bet if you asked them, they'd be okay with it. I would think the purpose of an ad is to get it as viral as possible. So here is the office that allows dogs. Didn't put any dogs in there. I didn't put a dog in there. So if I say create, it will go through and create it. We could have said operating room. We could have said a rocket ship command. Actually, that would be a pretty cool one too. But you can see it does a pretty good job of generating an office. We didn't say we wanted a large office or a big office, that kind of a thing. So, but there you go. So it gets you started, gets you out. You can actually use the tool without having a 360 camera working in. A very quick way to get started on things. Okay, so generating voiceovers in Lectora, we're going to go ahead and skip on that, but Lectora has built-in voices you can use automatically. Just like we showed you in 11 Labs, you're able to incorporate those voices inside of any Lectora course to create your voiceovers. Rehearsal is another product we have that will allow you to do many things with AI. So if we take a look at Rehearsal, Rehearsal is a product that allows you to record. It's used generally for sales training. In this case, I have a sales pitch. You record a prompt, and then you can have your salespeople record their answers to it. You can have AI transcribe that for you. You can also have it check for keywords and do things. And so I have recorded myself and then gotten responses back. And then I record it. It actually transcribes my recording. So it automatically pulls the text out. It can then look at that text for things like, certain keywords. It can get filler words like and ah and see how you did. You can make sure that they've done it. All that can be done automatically through AI. You can go through a full AI test, if you will, to make sure that your salespeople are pitching things properly in your products. So let's go back here. And so generating course content in Lectora, and this will probably be the last one we have time for. But if I actually go to Lectora itself, actually, we're going to go to Lectora Online. So we go here. So we go back to the studio and we launch Lectora Online. You can actually generate entire courses through AI. So here's your standard Lectora interface. You can go through and create a new project, excuse me. All of the standard ways to create projects are there if you want to go ahead and get started on your own, but you now have the AI course wizard in there. And now we can pick a topic, and I'm going back to the chat. We're going to create a course. We just need a few words to describe it. So here's some samples to give you ideas. Fire safety for healthcare workers, small business accounting, successful financial planning. Any thoughts on what you guys would like to see a course on? Ooh, onboarding for fitness directors, objection handling, soft skills. Way too many good things. Ethics trainings for lawyers. Ooh. All right, well, let's go in. All right, so you give it a topic. You give it a number of pages, anywhere from 1 to 15 pages. You choose a theme. You can give it any theme you want to make it look any way you want. I'll take the default, and you click on generate. It will then actually generate all of the topics for you for all those 10 pages and all the text, set you up with navigation for the entire course and placeholders for images. And we all know where you can get those images. Lots of things available. So it goes through, creates it, create a course called Ethics Trainings for Lawyers, and boom, here we are, and gives us our introduction, importance, ethics principles, handling of conflicts of interest, ethics and client relations. So really got you started. Is it done? No, it's not done. You still have things to do, but it got rid of the blank page syndrome. It really got you through into where you need to go. All right, so I am low on time, so I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to see if we have any questions that were on the panel here that I didn't see as we went by. Wasn't sure if there were any that got asked. We just have 1 minute left.
There were some questions about, like, if you upload photos, do you lose access to that photo? Will anyone be able to use it and generate stuff? So just some things about that and copyright issues. I know that's, yeah.
Uploading, I mean, do you mean use photos that are generated by AI? In general, AI photos are not a problem with copyright. The issues of copyright are coming on when they are artists that are used. So if I say I want something in the style of Banksy, then yes, that could be a problem because you're getting Banksy style things. But if I ask for a general firefighter photo, it's actually one of the least copyright issues that you'll have because the photo is just completely generated, is not using any existing person or thing. Yes, free trials are available for CenarioVR, absolutely. Someone asks, is there a program where you can upload a course draft, just the words in a part of an auto-generated course? Yes, look for one coming soon from a company you may know called ELB Learning. That's definitely something that we're working on and maybe coming out extremely soon. So with Vana, if they upload my photos, are they now part of Vana? I don't know what it is with Vana. However, all the photos I used were photos that I have used before as headshots, so I wasn't too worried about them going out there. They're on my LinkedIn, they're on my Facebook, they're on my everything. So I'm generally not, posting photos out there that aren't already in the public.
Got it. Okay, I know we haven't gotten to all of our questions, and we have new questions coming in. You had mentioned that your team can follow up. If we didn't get to your question today, we had a big group, we had a lot of engagement. So the ELB team is there to check in with you, answer any questions if you want to learn more about this, all of these awesome different things that you showed us today. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Well, have a great afternoon, and thanks again to ELB for sponsoring today's demo. We hope to see you at future ATD webinars and demos, and have a great afternoon.